What up, everybody? Back again here with our volume mastery check. Hopefully at this point you have watched all our lessons and you are here to test yourself to see if you have mastered these standards. Let's open up the box and see what we have. One of the most important things I always try to teach my students is it's okay to fail as long as you learn from it. So if you take this mastery check and you fail it, you didn't know how to do a few of the questions, that's okay, but only if you're going back and reviewing and getting better. If you do something and fail, and then don't do anything to fix that failure or just do the same thing over and over again, that's insane, right? So this is an awesome opportunity for you to check your understanding. If you understand it, awesome, and if not, you can go back and rewatch some videos, listen to the song, do something different to get better. Before we start, if you want to check the description for this video, we have a Google Doc copy of this. That way you can either print it off or you can look at it, try the questions before you watch the video, and then check your answers as you do it. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. You can grab a pencil and some paper and you can pause the video, try the question, and then check your answer. Let's get to it. The way this works is that the 4 questions are a ladder. So number 1 is going to be the easiest one, and number 4 will be the most challenging. So let's jump right in. The question says, how many unit cubes make up the prism? I know unit cubes are asking me for volume. So there's 2 ways to do a question like this. You can either use your formula or just count the cubes. I always like to use my formula of area of the base times the height. Okay, so I have my width right here. My width is 3, my length was 4, and my height was 2. There are 2 layers here. So I'm going to split my volume formula into length times width and do 3 times 4. I had 2 layers of that. 3 times 4 gives me an area of the base of 12, and I have 2 layers of 12, which means my volume is 24 cubic units, which means my answer for this question is 24 unit cubes make up this prism. If you missed this one, you can go all the way back and watch our very first lesson, which I'll link up here, about discovering what area is. Question number 2, a little bit harder, still not a word problem, just a picture, but it's asking me for the volume of the figure. So here I have 2 different prisms that I need to split apart, so I'll do A and B. I'm going to do volume of A equals area of the base times the height. Then over here I will do volume B equals area of the base times the height. Okay, so I'm going to start with A, and I always like to find my peace sign right here, all right, which I can find the height. When I look opposite parallel, that's going to be 4. I can find the width, okay. When I look opposite parallel, that's going to be 9. For my length, I'm going to go all the way down the prism, okay, right? I can't stop right here because prism A goes all the way underneath. When I look opposite parallel, that tells me that is 18. So I don't have the area of the base, so I'm going to decompose the area of the base into length times width. And I'm going to do 9 times 18, and then I have 4 layers of that. So now I just need to solve this using my order of operations going left to right. 9 times 18 is 162, and then I have 4 layers of 162. Again, we want to visualize what we're doing, not just use the formula to solve it, which gives me a volume of 648 cubic yards. But I'm not done yet because that was just the volume for prism A. Now right here, I'm going to use my peace sign right here. Okay, I can find my height, I can find my length, and I can find my width all from the same place. My height is 3. I can see that my length is 7 because I looked opposite parallel. And then I don't see my width, but if I look opposite parallel and keep going, I see that my width has to be 9. Okay. So you can always look opposite parallel if you don't know the information that you're looking for. So now I don't know the area of the base, so I'm going to plug in 9 times 7, and then I had 3 layers of that. When I solve that, the area of the base, 9 times 7 is 63, and then I multiply that times the height, which is 3, and 63 times 3 is 189 cubic yards, okay? Now I know that volume is additive, so if I add my 2 prisms together and do 648 plus 189, I'm going to get 837 cubic yards for the answer to what is the volume of this figure. Let's take it 1 rung up the ladder to question number 3. It says the Amazon box that just arrived at my door is 9 inches tall. The bottom is 27 square inches. How many cubic inches of space is inside the box? So I love to do my sides check strategy. I'm going to write it over here. My statement is going to say there is blank cubic inches of space inside the box. So when I go back, I want to look for anything about cubic inches, all right, and anything about the box. It says the box was 9 inches tall, so that's going to be my height. I'm going to label that with an H. Okay, the bottom is 27 square inches. I know this is the area of my base, 1, because it told me the bottom was, and 2, because it is squared, that means it has to be area. And I'm looking for how many cubic inches of space there is. Cubic inches or cubic units is going to be volume, so I know that I'm looking for my volume here. So I have done my S and my I. I've discovered that this is a volume question, so I'm going to develop my plan by writing my formula. I don't know the volume. That's what my statement's asking me for, because it's cubic inches. So I'm going to put a variable for volume. I'm looking for what V is going to be. The area of the base is 27, and I have 9 layers of 27 cubes in each layer, right? That's what the height's telling me. So to solve this, I'm going to do 27 times 9, which is going to be 243. So my volume is 243 cubic inches. Okay, now you have to put cubic inches after it, which is why I wrote it in my statement right here, because it is volume and it has to be cubic units. If you missed this question, you need to go back and watch our word problem lesson, which I will link right here, and that will help you out with this type of question. Let's take a look at our most challenging question, question number 4. It says, Sha'lize is putting a pool in her backyard. The pool can hold 432 cubic feet of water. It is 8 feet long and 9 feet wide. How deep is the pool? So I love my sides check strategy. I'm going to go ahead and write that down over here. And my statement's going to say the pool is blank feet deep. So when I go back, I'm looking for any information about pool and in anything that's in feet, because that's what my answer is going to be. It says she's putting up a pool in her backyard. The pool can hold 432 cubic feet of water. Because this is cubic units, right, my units feet, I know that this is my volume. This is a volume question because it's telling me what the volume is. It's 432, 8 feet long and 9 feet wide, and you want to know how deep the pool is. Okay, we talked about this in our word problem lesson. If it's asking you how deep something is, that's really asking you for the height of the prism. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go back, click on this link right here and watch that lesson, because I draw a picture out to explain it to you. But if it's asking you for the depth, that's really the height of the prism. So I know this is a volume question because it told me what my volume is. So I'm going to develop my plan by writing down my volume formula, area of the base times the height. I've now done my statement, I've identified, and I've developed. Now I need to fill in my equation. So I know what the volume is. The volume was 432. I don't know the area of the base, but it did tell me my length and my width. So I'm going to decompose this into 8 times 9, and then I didn't know what my height was. So there's my equation, and now all I need to do is solve for this missing factor. Just like we talked about in our lesson, the first thing you want to do is combine what you know. So 8 times 9 is 72, and then if I multiply that by some number, it's going to give me a volume of 432. Again, test taking strategy, because if you're doing this to get ready for a test, you want to have good test taking skills. If it's multiple choice answer, and now you're stuck because you don't feel good about dividing, take each of your answer choices and plug them in for what the answer could be. And if you multiply that number times 72 and it gives you the volume of 432, that's your answer. Now, if it's not a multiple choice test, or if you feel comfortable dividing, you should be able to solve for a missing factor by using the fact family knowledge and to rewrite this as 432 divided by 72 equals H. Remember, multiplication and division are fact families. They're inverse operations of each other, so you can rewrite them as each other by moving around the numbers. When you divide 432 divided by 72, you get an answer of 6. The height is 6 feet, which means the pool is 6 feet deep. If you had any problems with this, please go back, rewatch our lessons. If you haven't ever watched them, go back and watch them. We have guided notes for each lesson in the description of the video. You can check out our volume song. If you mastered this, congratulations. Awesome job. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'd love to have you join the Instructabeats family. As always, we appreciate you. Instructabeats, out.